Welcome home bakers. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a hot cross loaf. Now you may be wondering, what is that? Maybe you have heard of hot cross buns, which is a type of pastry that is traditionally associated with Easter. Well, a hot cross loaf is just like that, but in a loaf form. So rather than making individual buns, we're going to make a whole loaf. Now, rest assured, you are going to be able to make this recipe for your friends and loved ones. Like all my cake tutorials, I make it super easy, especially for baking beginners. So you'll be able to follow all the steps. Don't forget to look in the description section where you'll find a full list of all the ingredients and tools that you need, as well as more pointers and guides to help you perfect this recipe. Let's get started. Here are the ingredients that you need. We're going to be using bread flour. Bread flour is designed for making bread and bread-like pastries. It cannot be substituted with plain flour or self-raising flour or cake flour. You need to use bread flour. If you're not sure about the different flours, you definitely want to subscribe to my channel, because in a while I'm going to be doing a back to basics session on all your baking ingredients in detail. So that's another reason for you to subscribe. So get yourself bread flour. We're also going to be using milk, whole milk. If you've got semi-skim milk, you can use that. Caster sugar. So we're going to be using spices just like in the traditional hot cross bun recipe. Now, if you want to try the original hot cross bun recipe, I've already got a tutorial for you. The link will be showing at the top of your screen in the description section, or just search for hot cross buns in my channel. So the spices that we're going to be using is ground ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg. You are going to need yeast. Yeast is the leavening agent that you're going to use to get the batter, the dough, to rise. It's actually a dough for bread rather than batter, to get your dough to rise. If you can, get the fast acting yeast version. That has a shorter time to prove, so your dough will rise in a shorter amount of time. So yeast. What other ingredients do we need? We need eggs, salt, butter. Now, for this recipe, you need cold butter. Unlike traditional cake recipes, oh dear, butter. You're going to need butter for this recipe, and it should be cold butter. Unlike most cake recipes that call for room temperature butter, in this one, you need cold butter. So just take it straight out of the fridge when you are ready to prep your dough. So the hot cross loaf has currants. Now you can use currants or raisins or a mixture of that sort of thing. I like this three mix mixture, which is a combination of raisins and currants, but whatever floats your boat will work. You need an orange. We're going to be using the zest of an orange, and you also need honey. This is what we're going to use to glaze the top of the loaf once it's cooked. To mix your dough, you have two options. You can either mix it by hand, or you can use your stand mixer if you have one. Today, I'm going to be using my stand mixer. So those are the ingredients that you need. Let's get baking. So we're going to be zesting the orange. To zest your orange, you need a grater just like that, and you're just going to zest the skin of the orange. That gives flavor and orange citrus flavor to your loaf. So here is the orange zest, all ready to go. Next step, we're going to warm the milk until it's steaming in the microwave. Pour the bread flour into the bowl, add your salt, your spices, which is the ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, and the ground ginger, all together into your mixing bowl. Measure up your yeast and add that into the mixing bowl as well. And the final ingredient you're going to be adding at this stage is your lemon zest. Next, we're going to weigh up the butter. Remember, cold butter. Pour that into your mixture. On to the next stage. So next, we're going to mix the mixture with hands. So you need clean hands. And this is a process called rubbing. So with rubbing, you're basically rubbing and breaking the cold butter into the mixture until it resembles fine, like crumb-like the cold butter into the mixture until it resembles fine, like crumb-like structure. This is a process that is commonly used in baking, and if you in breaking bread, this is a process that is commonly used in bread making. So it's called rubbing. You're rubbing cold butter into the flour. So you can see why the recipe says use cold butter. If you use room temperature butter, you're not going to be able to rub it into it. So you're just gently rubbing to create like a fine breadcrumb-like consistency. Add your sugar. Next, you're going to add your currant mixture. Ta-da! Here is the bread which has risen nicely. This is what your bread should look like at this stage. Now we're going to do the final bit, which is piping the design. So you're going to use the flour mixture. Now I did make a mistake. I should have made the flour a little bit thicker than what I did. So make sure you use the amount of flour stated in the description, and you're going to pipe on the crosses. Now if you have a piping bag, I would recommend that you use that because you will get neater lines. But for some reason, I just couldn't get the piping bag, so I did it by freehand. And as you can see, the result is not the neatest, but you can see what we're aiming for. You're going to be doing patterns of crosses on the loaf, just like you would with the traditional hot cross buns. Once that is done, pop it in the oven and allow to bake. I recommend that you set a timer so that you know when to check your bread so that you don't overcook your bread. The bread is ready and it's looking good and it's smelling absolutely delightful. Now we just need to put the final touches and then our hot cross loaf is finally ready. So remember the orange that we zested in the beginning? This is just the juice from that orange which I squeezed, and I'm going to use that as a glaze to give a nice shiny finish. And I'm also adding some honey as a glaze. I'm just going to brush that over the loaf. You can start to see it is looking so good, and honestly this tasted so good. We're going to come to the tasting bit in just a second, but let's just take a moment to admire the hot cross loaf, which looks delightful. Now I use a loaf pan. It's a circular, which is a very top brand, so it's non-stick, and remember we've oiled the cake pan at the start, so it should pop right off. I just use a palette knife just to loosen the edge, and then I'm just going to pop it out, and it will come out cleanly. So that's it. Look at that. Oh, so good. Okay, let's cut into a hot cross loaf so I can show you just how good it looks. So you use a bread knife, cut it, and let's have a look at the inside of the bread. Look at that, it's so soft. You can just see the steam. Hot cross loaf is best served on the day, but if you want to keep it to the next day, you can just toast it and it will be nice. Look at that, nice and soft, delicious. When you bite into it, you'll taste all your spices. I would recommend that you add a little bit of butter to it. Oh, it tastes absolutely delicious, and I'm tasting it out. I think I agree. It tastes delicious. I hope that you make this for your family and loved ones. It is so easy to make and it is worth it. Thank you for watching my video. Like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Happy baking.